What is up? What is cracking? All right, it's your girl Ash, aka Goddess Goals, and I want to talk about the plot to my message. I didn't know that you were no good, and this is part 2. Okay, so if you didn't check out part 1, definitely go check out part 1. I'll leave the link in the comments below. All right, now and this message and in this plot, I was talking about Alice in Wonderland, but a spinoff, and how did I look at Alice being in Wonderland? Also, how did I see myself inside of this Wonderland? How did I end up inside of this Wonderland, right? Or how did Alice end up inside of this Wonderland, right? And you know, metaphorically, Alice is just this kid, right? This adolescent, and she is stepping into this brand new world that she has never experienced before, right? And I feel like a lot of us can resonate with that because we might be going into something, a new business or a new journey, right? Doing something we never did before, even school, whatever it is, right? Where we are going to be around people, but we don't know that there will be trials and tribulations and tests as we go along being around these different people, right? It's also kind of like how school first starts off. So in the first message, I was talking about how, you know, Alice met the Mad Hatter, right? So the Mad Hatter is just basically, you know, somebody that Alice looks up to, Alice is inspired by. Maybe this could be metaphorically, you know, Alice's first grade teacher, kindergarten teacher, the person that, you know, coddled Alice and taught Alice things, you know. And, you know, with you being Alice, you may think that, all right, as I go along on my journey and I go up in grades and up in levels and I travel and I go out on my own on this journey, that I'm going to meet more people like the Mad Hatter, or everybody's going to be like the Mad Hatter. And if you know, then you know that everybody is not like the Mad Hatter. All right. So, yeah. So, and this second part of the message, you know, Alice starts to go to school now, you know, meaning that she's out here on her own, but she's old enough to go out and go to school now. And she's now rotating, you know, classes, meaning that she has many teachers, that wherever she's going, she's going to have these many teachers. Okay. And all these teachers have different roles. All these teachers teach about different things, you know what I'm saying? And all these teachers have different personalities, right? So, you know, when you are a student, let's say in high school or college or whatever, and you got to rotate these classes, and maybe even sometimes in elementary school, when we rotate these classes, we notice that, you know, the environment is different, right? And we know that some people have gooder skills than the next one, or sometimes, you know, when you step in an environment, you don't know that you have skills, or you just feel like maybe I don't have skills, right? You just feel like you are at ground level, okay? I'm also getting the movie Matilda as a reference to this message, okay? And it's kind of like, what's Matilda's teacher name? The Miss something, how she just loved and adored Matilda. So that's kind of giving like the Mad Hatter vibe. That's who the Mad Hatter was to Matilda. And if that wasn't the case, then, you know, I forgot her name. The teacher lady was one of the type of teachers that Matilda will catch on to, gravitate to. And the same thing with Alice, right? Alice will gravitate to the nice teacher, the teacher that supports her, the teacher that tells her this is how you get better, the teacher that is guiding her, right? Even though the other teachers may see her as trouble. I'm hearing trouble, trouble, trouble. Okay, so in the part 2 of this message, I was simply talking about people around you will see your skills, okay? And even if you are still a student, you don't know your full potential or know your full skills just yet, right? And I was saying that even in real life, if you are already a teacher, you are wise enough to know that you are simply still a student working on your skills. Okay, so this can go for the teachers out there that are already doing their thing, they already been on their journey, but they still are wise enough to know that they are not as smart as the next person. They still know that they can learn from anybody you come across, you can learn from, right? Because everybody hasn't had the same experience as you have had. So, you know, shout out to my teachers that are still students. Okay, all right. So as I was talking about in the message, how we go from elementary school to high school, where, you know, we're rotating teachers now. We have multiple teachers. Okay, we're rotating lessons. We have multiple different lessons. We have multiple different courses. Okay, and Alice is admiring these teachers. You know, it's kind of like when you come inside of a situation and you know your big sister, or you just heard through the grapevine, like, yeah, that teacher is a bomb teacher, like, you know, that teacher is the best teacher, or, you know, you're gonna enjoy this teacher, or they're like, yeah, that teacher don't play. You know how gossip goes around, you know, about somebody, right? Even in any type of workplace environment that you are in, somebody has something to say about the teacher, about the person that is giving the lesson. Okay, so Alice was just so excited because Alice is just like, oh my God, you know, I get to be around these teachers. Oh my God, I done heard so much about that teacher. I love that teacher. You know, that is one of the best teachers ever. Like, you know, and sometimes when we step into Wonderland, we admire people from the outside. Like, look, man, that is a great astrologer. Like, yo, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Check me out. How good am I? Do you think I'm good? You know what I'm saying? Or what do you think of this? It's kind of like, you know, you going up to the best teacher that you think, that you look up to. You're like, hey, can you check out my work? Or I've been admiring you for so long. Can you check this out for me? So it's that type of energy, you know, with Alice. You know, Alice is excited, right? And Alice is in like a childlike energy. So Alice is happy that they are her teachers, right? And you know, she is just like, you know, man, I know this teacher's gonna go down in the books. Okay, so yeah. And another thing with Alice being childlike, Alice does not think anything bad about these teachers. She does not see evil in these teachers. She does not see anything. Like, she's coming into this wonderland and she like thinks that it's all sunshine and rainbows, okay? And lollipops. That's what she is thinking. She could not fathom anything bad about these teachers, that they would do anything malicious, okay? Because she's just never heard of that, right? Or she would never think that. And the next thing I was talking about, like the characteristics of Alice. How was Alice as a student? You know, when you think about a child, right? You think a child is very kind, very loving, right? Very happy-go-lucky, excited to be in a new environment, excited to have new friends, excited. You know, when you go somewhere, you're like, man, I get to have new friends. I'm so excited. I'm so ready. And I know that when I did have a sorority on a game, I knew that the best thing, or the most funnest thing, that girls would like message me and tell me, they're like, oh my God, I just can't wait for tomorrow because I get to have and I get to meet new people. And I'm also excited to meet, you know, other people that's going to be teaching me lessons. These teachers, I'm so excited. I can't not wait. And some of them also had people that had already pledged and already inside the sorority. They also had people like, yeah, I already done did it, and this is what to expect. You're gonna like this teacher, you're gonna like that teacher, So that's kind of like the environment, right? But this can go in all different aspects, okay? So Alice was just happy-go-lucky in this message. She was excited for the teacher. She was excited for the students. And Alice knew that she was going to be a good student, right? Because the Mad Hatter had already taught her. But that's who she was already. So she knew she was going to be a good student. She knew she was going to be on time. She knew she was going to be a phenomenal student. She was open to learn, okay? Alice was also soft-spoken. So she wasn't quick to snap back or be one of those students that is unruly. No, Alice really was like, look, I'm really coming here to learn. I really want to learn. I really want to be here, right? And you know, when Alice gets there, Alice teachers, or one teacher specifically, notices this unique characteristic about Alice, how Alice maybe catches on quickly, or maybe how Alice does things differently. It was just something about Alice. You know, when you find somebody, you're like, it's something about that one, right? You know, so the teachers was like, wow, that's a very impressive student, but that's also a student that we would have to worry about, right? I might have to check more into this student, right? And how they can be inspired by a student. It's like how you can be inspired by somebody, but at the same time, you can't let them know that you are inspired by them. So Miss Principal, right, and Matilda. So for some reason, I'm getting these two things, like Miss Principal or whatever her name was, the principal, right? She saw something in Matilda as well. If you notice the movie, she saw something in Matilda, but it was something like, I see something in you, but I don't like you. I don't like what I see in you. You know, I don't like that you're just a little bit too happy, or I don't like that the light that you shine. I don't like that you that smart. Why are you that smart? I don't like that. So that is the kind of energy that this teacher was specifically getting, right? So the next part is the teacher's huddle. Okay, in this message. So the teachers huddle up. The teachers, you know, they go in, you know, their little huddle room to talk, right? Lunch room, lunch break. And this specific teacher starts to mention Alice, starts to talk about Alice, starts to say, like, you know, hey, that student right there named Alice, we might gotta worry about them. They very impressive. Have y'all checked out this student? Do y'all know this student? Have y'all came across this student? How was they in your classroom? You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So it's like the teachers huddle and get with other teachers to basically talk about this student and to talk about how good they are at what they do. Now, you know, this what brings me inside of the story where we learn about the 3 different types of teachers that Alice will experience in her life and in this wonderland. And in our life's journey, in our spiritual journey, we will experience three types of teachers. Okay, and see, the first type of teacher that I explained is the teacher that's like, oh my God, that student is absolutely amazing. I love that student. Like, yeah, I saw that student, right? You know, in the huddle. Yeah, I saw that student. I admire that student. I want that student to grow. I know that student can be better. You know what I'm saying? But it was something like, you know, I don't normally see students like you, but I admire you. Like, I love that student. I'm clapping for that student. So we got that first type of teacher that is happy for the student, you know, wants to see the student grow because they know that the student is just tapping in, is just at surface level, and they can grow more, right? And that is like in Matilda, Miss Honey. That's her name, Miss Honey. Wow. So that's like Miss Honey, you know, is those types of teachers that Alice will experience in this life. And also what Alice is experiencing right now is the Miss Honey type of teachers, right? But understand that it is not many Miss Honey types of teachers. It's more of the second type of teacher and third type of teacher than it is the first type of teacher that's clapping for Alice, that wants Alice to succeed, right? So that what brings us to the second type of teacher, right? And those are the type of teachers that really don't care. Okay. They're around in the huddle like, yeah, I think that student, they're pretty good, but all in all, I just come here to get my paycheck. I clock in, I clock out. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. I stay out the way. Those that stay out the way type of teachers, right? That they don't really care. They're not too optimistic about it. It's like, hey, once I come here, I teach what I teach and I leave. So we all have those types of teachers, right? Where we know that, after such and such time is over with, they leave and they go about their merry way. But shout out to that student. So the second type of teacher, even though they see Alice, they're not too much paying her attention, right? But they're not a hater. They're not a hater though. They just like, look, I stay in my own lane. All right, type of teachers. And probably that would be me, the type of teacher that's like, look, I stay in my own lane, but shout out to that student, right? Shout out to that student, but I stay in my own lane. Okay. Now we have the third type of teacher. All right. And these teachers, it's more of these type of teachers than it is the second type, and definitely it is the first type. At least for this environment, at least for this Wonderland, at least for Alice right now. Okay. Now the third types of teachers that Alice will come across and experience are the cunning type of teachers. Okay. Where you have to be careful coming around these teachers. You have to be careful complimenting these teachers. You have to be careful giving these teachers praise. Why? Because these teachers are the type of teachers that's like, this person is coming in trying to take my place. This person is trying to take over the classroom. This person is, trying to step on my toes for some reason, right? And Alice starts to notice like, okay, well, these types of teachers don't like me being like, oh my God, you're so amazing. Oh my God, spot on. Oh my God. So Alice is like, what is wrong with these teachers, right? And that can be in a sense where, you go somewhere and you see somebody that's popular and you just like, oh my God, I love your outfit. Oh my God, I love your work. Oh my God, I love your music. Oh my God, you're amazing. I love you. And you're commenting on their stuff. And even though you do the same thing that they do, but you're like, oh my God. And they're like, who are you? Why are you commenting on my stuff? Are you trying to take my clients? Are you trying to take my subscribers? You know what I'm saying? Type energy like, what is this? Like, what is this? So that's the kind of energy it is. Or, oh, you're trying to take my friends? Like, you just be like, I'm just trying to give you praise. I'm just trying to be nice. I'm just new here. I'm just new here. I'm just trying to say, hey, like, what? So, those are the type of teachers. And sometimes Alice is learning, that, okay, maybe I got to scale back and watch how I communicate with these teachers. Because, like, these teachers don't play, okay? Like, and maybe even Alice tries to basically say or do something to let the teachers know, like, I come in peace. I come in peace, right? Okay. As well. All right. Especially when these types of teachers see that a student has amazing potential. Okay. Amazing potential. And even though, like I say, once again, Alice doesn't know that she has potential. Alice is around here in La La Land, Google and Gaga over these teachers and over the whole experience, right? Okay. So these teachers may see that as well. And they may see that Alice has a great future ahead of her if she stays on this good path. And you know, sometimes this whole thing is just about good versus evil, right? And when you are trying to communicate with somebody that's evil and you're good, at the end of the day, they're still gonna be like, what are you doing? You're good, we're evil. What are you doing, Alice? You belong over there. So it's like a no-go, right? So they come together. These teachers, the third types of teachers that Alice will experience, they will come together to mislead Alice. They will come together to sabotage Alice. They will come together to trick Alice. They will come together to torture Alice. They will come together to play mind games with Alice. They will come together to humiliate Alice. And they will come together to confuse Alice, to confuse the student, you know. And that is something that we learn in life, even inside of a workplace environment, where you come in and you're doing your work, and guess what? Somebody will try to sabotage you and what you do, simply because it's you, right? Simply because it's you. All right, so they played these mind games with Alice, and on the part 3, we're gonna go kind of more into it about what type of mind games they played on Alice, how they tried to humiliate Alice, how they tried to torture her, how they tried to confuse her, right? You know what I'm saying? And you would think, like, what for? Why would you do that, right? As well. So I feel like these teachers every year maybe even picked a certain student, or every time they did see a student that was on the good side, right? Or pure, these set of teachers, these third set of teachers, tried to do things to run these students away, or to run this specific student away, so they can lose their hopes and dreams, so they can scare them away, so they can feel like, you know, they don't have any potential. Okay, so yeah, to lose their hopes and dreams, that's what they specifically wanted for these students. All right. In this message, it would be like, why would any teacher want to manipulate a student? Why would they ever want to do that to a student? And that is the same thing that Alice was thinking, like, why would somebody that has much more than me want to manipulate me, want to lose? Why? When I look up to you, I'm inspired by you, I wish you nothing but the best, and I'm actually just trying to learn from you. Right? So Alice starts to notice these things, and she starts to like have this awakening as a student. Okay. And yeah, so Alice starts to feel like, all right, you know, why? And that's the same thing in this life journey, when it's people out there that know more than us, it's people out there that have more than us, it's people that are out there that are teachers, and you're like, look, I'm just an adolescent. And when we talk about an adolescent, it means just somebody have lesser experience than you. So you may not physically be an adolescent, but you are an adolescent to them. You are just coming in here. They have more knowledge than you. They may even have more power than you. Okay? So, of course, you know, with you being an adolescent and you in this new environment, of course, you see everybody as good. You know, you seeing everybody like you. You know, you're hoping, you're praying that everybody is just simply like you, right? Inside of this environment, because you are an adolescent to them. So Alice starts to learn that looking at things adolescently can turn into a lesson. You know what I'm saying? So this is all about Alice learning what evil is, how people are, and how they can move evil. So Alice is opening up and waking up to, okay, this wonderland is not all sunshine and rainbows. This wonderland is not everything that I thought it was. And it is different types of people, different types of groups, different types of mindsets different types of energies inside of this wonderland, even when she thought it was just maybe one. Okay? And she's also learning that evil teachers love to turn lessons for those who think with adolescence. So people that are evil, people that are meaning you no good, would love to grab onto you and take you and twist and turn you and deplete you. I'm seeing like wringing of a towel, like wringing out a towel. And when you know a towel is wet, right? When it's wet and it's soaked and it's filled with water, it has something in it, right? It has water in it, right? But when you wring it out and when you dry it out, it depletes till nothing, to nothing. So the evil teachers love to teach people that have this water inside of them, and they twist it to dry it all out. They love to twist it and show them like, yeah, you were good, but I'm going to teach you a lesson about why you shouldn't be good, or how good does not win over evil. So they say, right? So they say. So that is part 2 of I didn't know that you were no good. Right? So we're going to go to part 3. And I'll be busy back, baby.